Alright. Oh, it's video time! Shit. Okay, so it's Mango here, trying to make a video about mecha. There was a pretty big amount of people actually wanting to see this, so thank you everyone. And I'm able to just gush about mecha now, which is pretty nice. But yeah, let's go through what I'm going to talk. So I will probably start out with the more easy things. Like later on, I will talk about funky stuff like contrast through like brightness and that kind of stuff, which gets complicated and messy really quickly, and like shape structure. But it sounds scary, but it shouldn't be that bad. But yeah, I'm going to start with probably just showing your like the design process from the old mecha to the new mecha, because technically the old mecha was like my prime example of like my good mecha design, and now when I'm looking at it, it's like horrible and ugly and I hate it. But yeah, I'm going to show like what went into it, because I really like a lot of ideas from the old design, not gonna lie, but they were executed very poorly, where like how I designed stuff was really flawed, and I'm gonna show how. And there's a bunch of stuff. I have a little list here. Let's hope I don't go on terrible tangents like I usually go. And also, just as a quick side note, there's music in the background. It's from a playlist. I'm gonna link the playlist. It's not royalty free music. If I ever gonna do videos seriously, I have to think about it. But man, this nice music. Okay, this is my chill playlist. Anyhow, so looking at this mecha, I hope my mouse cursor is being able to be seen, but I can draw, I suppose. So this mecha, the idea of this mecha was always it being kind of animalistic and having like a bunch of like funky ideas. Like the mecha was supposed to be like a prototype, so it has a bunch of cables just flailing around, and like it looks very unfinished. And I really like that idea. It just vibes a lot with me, just kind of like a mecha that is not looking how it's like robots are weird, and it's supposed to look kind of weird, like if you look at like some modern robot design here, it's just like it looks so alien, and it looks alien because of the function it like fulfills. And that's kind of the look I want to go for, because I don't know, the idea of like a very scary looking mecha, and it's just a robot, it can't be malevolent, but it can look ominous, and so I had like a bunch of cool ideas for it. But like the very first thing that I wanted to change with the new design was like this, which is like kind of the action curve. It's not really the action curve, but it's like, you know what I'm getting at. This one is like standing really up straight and kind of boring, and this one is like more dynamic and just looks more how I wanted it to be, more vicious. This one looks really boring now when I look at it, and it's kind of funky. And it's something that I got really stuck in making mechas for a very long time, making just thing very stiff as hell. And it's just like one of those things where you're designing mechas and you kind of just think about making them stiff as hell. And yeah, I'm talking about how they stand before I actually talk about how to make mecha, but honestly, I don't know. Usually people think about mecha as if it's something really difficult, and like the only people doing mecha are like these concept art gods, or like people that literally only do mecha, and then it's not really crazy. Or which, okay, I have a big gripe with like people making mecha sometimes, because it's just like there's not that much original stuff. Like people don't have fun with it, it doesn't feel like people having like the good ideas. Man, I gonna get like flag from someone about this. But yeah, I actually started making mechas because the mechas I like don't exist really, and so I have to create them myself. So that's the funky thing. And why did I go on that tangent? Well, making mecha is kind of fun. Like, for me personally, humans are a lot harder to make because they have very preconceived rules, like very rigid rules. You know, like if you draw a human a little bit weirdly, it will look very uncanny. And a mecha has just a lot more like just freedom. You can do whatever you want with it, you know, like it can be have like 8 legs, I don't care, you know. But yeah, the problem with like drawing mecha is a very different skill. With a human, you learn how a limb works, how the muscle structure works, you know, like the funny thing with an arm where it's kind of twisty, you know. Like, did you ever see like the forearm thing where you can like rotate your hand? It's wild, dude. It's like so wild. It was so hard for me to understand, but now that I understand it, I still can't fucking draw it, man. It's fucking crazy. But with mecha, you just have to understand like kind of like product design, like things to make sense, and you have to make it up yourself. With humans, it's already there, you know, like it makes sense, you only have to understand it why it makes sense. With mecha, you kind of have to like pull it out of your ass, you know, like kind of be like, all right, I'm going to draw this joint now, and it looks like it makes sense because blah, 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 you know, that kind of stuff. Just like a bunch of small things, kind of going a little bit forward, but on this design, this small little band here, not band, little string here, this is like one of those things where I'm really happy about, and it's just like one of those things that I just mentioned. It just makes sense, you know, like the idea is this little dude can plug himself out, and how the fuck is he going to get this cable when it's like dangling, you know? Like, of course there has to be a string, so it's like still attached, but he can like, I don't know, preserve some battery charge, you know, like don't overcharge yourself. It's chemical reactions. I can't talk. Anyhow, what I'm doing right now with this mecha is like showing what kind of simple shapes I use with this one, and this just very contributing to the boringness of this design. Like, this mecha is like, if you look at it, just normally you would like think, oh yeah, it's like rounded, it has like these round shapes, but it is very blocky. It's like an extremely blocky mecha that just shows how like uncertain I was about just drawing shapes in this kind of angle. This isn't even like the craziest angle, you know, but it's not 3/4, you know, like, yeah, and I'm a fucking scrub, but it's just like I was so like uncomfortable with everything, and just the design didn't really like thrive. Like, I couldn't do the things I wanted to do, you know. And yeah, it's just something I really wanted to change with the new design. With the new design, you see like this, you know, like I would never have done this before, where it's just like, oh yeah, this is pretty much the body, and this is like slightly tilted. It's not even like crazy tilted like this, it's just slightly tilted, and it still makes sense. It's not like I have to make everything blocky, you know. And it's just something I had to take to heart, where also more round shapes, you know, like I wanted this to be round, now it's like actually just a fucking circle, a circle. But yeah, that kind of stuff. Going into more of the design aspects now, I suppose, because I don't want to linger too much on how to draw mecha. Honestly, just make blocks and make the blocks look funny at the end. I'm going into like the design features now, because that's what I want to talk about. It. I probably should make a video about how to draw mecha. I don't know. It seems like something so second nature for me at this point, but it's just like blocks, you know. Anyhow, one of the like first cool things that I want to show, which is like so big brain. Like, I feel so big brain when I start talking about this. It's like the snout camera. This looks like a snout to me, and there's like a camera, so I call it a snout camera. You know, it's just like a very funny shape. But yeah, So this is one of the small changes where this is like how you kind of expect like a security camera looks like, and this one looks like a little bit funkier, kind of like it has a joint here and is kind of like poking forward. And the idea for that was actually that the idea was the camera can like move 360 and like look behind him, you know. That's why the snout exists, you know, so the mecha can like look in a bigger angle. But the thing with that is like, first of all, the shoulders are really broad, so the mecha won't be able to see that much. And the cone of vision of this camera isn't that big. Like it's not as bad as if the camera is like in an indent, like in a little lowered area or something like that, but it's still like hampered, you know, like it could be a lot more. And when you imagine it, like, I'm going to accidentally draw a dick, don't worry about it. When you imagine the mecha like this and the camera rotating from this point, the corner vision is like this, and it just stops here. And it's just like, it's a lot of vision, but you don't really see much, you know. Like if you like have the cone of vision, if you look to the side, you literally can't see anything else. And I don't want it to do that. I wanted it to be like able to see literally everything. And this is from this mecha. This mecha, on the other hand, first of all, I made the shoulder smaller because it just looked goofy as hell how bulky he is, and I really didn't need to make him this bulky. It was kind of like I made a shoulder, and for some reason I was like, I want to make another shoulder, and it's like, I mean, later on I will explain why this is also bad design, because it's like these two things are pretty much like the same width and like kind of taking up same space-ish, so it kind of looks just clunky and clumpy and icky gooey. It's just despicable, disgusting. Get it out of here, this creature. Anyhow, this one, first of all, it's longer. Yeah, it's the slim dick. I hate myself, dude. But this is like the pivot point, and the camera is like a little bit off the pivot point because it's like poking out. And when you like look at it like this, it has like a big cone of vision. Like it gets the angle of this one by just looking to the side instead of like having to try to look behind it. And also because it's like poking out like this, it can like look a little bit like, it can look way harder behind it. It still can't like look behind it. Like I think the cone of vision wouldn't like be able to like sneak. Also it wouldn't make any sense looking like straight behind you and then like seeing like just a little bit in your peripheral vision. But it's like, you get what I mean. He be looking more now. He be having eyes everywhere. It's kind of fun. But yeah, it's like one of those small things, and it adds, you know, like it is like everything I'm going to talk about is like these obscure design decisions that why the fuck would Mango do it? I don't know. Some people will pick up on it, most people won't, but if you add up all these weird design decisions that make sense somewhere, then it's like, it just feels real. It just feels like this funky mecha with teeth, you know. Like it's a mecha with teeth. Why does he have teeth? I literally have no design decision. Like I have literally no plausible explanation why a mecha would have teeth, but he has teeth and it looks cool, and he has like face and everything, you know. And good song came on, that's good. But yeah, it's just like you have to balance the fun and the realism, and when you combine it, bam, you have like a beautiful mecha, just the spiciest dish. I like to cook, by the way. If I ever talk about food again, and it's very descriptive and very specific, don't stop me. I like talking about food. But yeah, on to the next thing. The next thing I want to talk about is the gun. And some people might know me as Mango, the gun person. Before I was a mecha person, I was actually the gun fanatic, you know, like I was able to design the coolest guns and that kind of shit. And the guns are very near and dear to me, but for some reason I always scuff them when I draw mecha. Like I kind of don't want to have mechas holding them. It kind of I don't know. Mechas holding guns looks so weird. It's just like, why don't you have the gun just attached to you? Why would you hold it like a fucking monkey? You know, like a fucking human. I don't know. I don't like mechas using tools. It's kind of wacky. I don't like it. But yeah, it's I kind of scuff them always. I have this really bad habit of like, oh yeah, I make cool mecha. Oh, now I want to have gun. Let's just like make this gun float beside the mecha, and people will assume, ah yes, it's a gun arm. You know, that's why actually the gun arm is on this side this time around, and like the boring shield is on the other side, because that's how things should be. Like the interesting thing should be like detailed and designed, and not this. What does this look like? I don't know. I really didn't like this gun. It looks like, because of the fat muzzle and the fat magazine and the chunkiness, it kind of looks like a flamethrower. Kind of, sort of. Kind of like it's shooting plasma or something. Kind of like it's shooting like funky balls, and like in a shooting would make funky noises. I don't want to try to make noises now. I'm really bad at making noises. I'm really bad at talking already, so it's But yeah, the idea of this gun was it has a targeting system, which is like an artificial brain. And no shit, I was thinking like, man, that seems like a very sorry existence, just to be a brain, to like just shoot, like just do the confirmation of, yeah, should I shoot or should I not shoot, because the gun can't even like aim itself. So I'm just like, that's like the dumbest idea ever, like having a brain just to be like, oh yeah, is this a civilian or not? I mean, yeah, it made sense because it's like a police robot, but it's like, come on, man. You don't need that much. You don't need that much brain power. I'm losing my voice in real time. But yeah, you don't need that much brain power. So, what was the solution to that? First of all, I made a better gun that actually looked like a funny gun. It's kind of modeled after a submachine gun, a P90. I like making guns, but I don't know that many guns. But it's like this very blocky shape, and then this very short muzzle, and then this like hook, and then this like tubular magazine. You know what I mean? The P90s. You know, the funny gun. The like. You know. But yeah, first of all, making it into an actual gun that looks cool, and second of all, now the brain is in this thing. Actually, I wasn't planning on having like a container for the brain, or having the brain at all in the new design, but like it kind of just worked out. And this is like something that you will see a lot in this in like mecha design. Like you will draw a shape, and then you're just like, this shape looks like something. What does it look like? And then you're suddenly like, aha, yes, it's a head. You probably don't see a head here, but it's like, it's a head. All right, don't worry about it. I see a head in there. But yeah, I made like 2 of those blocks, like behind each other. It just kind of looked like this, and kind of to like echo the old design. And then I realized, hey, I could put like brain in here. And how did I get to the point though, where there's like this little dude here, which is just like aiming himself, which is like the funniest shit to me. I don't know why. Having a gun which aims himself is like so cute to me. I don't know, I want to pet it. Anyhow, why is Le Dude here? The Le Dude here is because I attached a hand previously here, kind of like an attachment, kind of like how you would like attach a fucking flashlight. Instead of a flashlight, it's like a hand. You know, like I like those kind of like design ideas are like the best thing ever for me, which cause it's just like so stupid. Like, oh yeah, I have a gun arm and my attachment is the actually functioning hand. It's so good. It's so good. I should stop sucking my own cock, but it's so good. But it kind of looked way too goofy, and I couldn't make it work. And then my brain was just like, hey, the hand is on the gun. Why? What if like the hand is aiming the gun? And I was like, dude, that's such a good idea. But I was fiddling around with it a really long time because it was too busy. Like the arm was like really long. It kind of was like this, and maybe a little bit exaggerated, but it's like it was too big. It was taking so much attention away from the main mecha, and I was like, this main mecha is beautiful. It's my baby boy. Is oh, and I didn't want that, you know. So I was thinking, what can I do? I don't know, right? Mango isn't the type of like logical thinker to be like, oh yeah, I make the arm smaller. No, I would spend 2 hours just fucking diddling around, making a fucking shoulder and shit like that on this side. And I'm just being like, maybe it works, you know? Yeah, the solution was just make the fucking arm smaller. Also, the music is gone. Where's the music? Where's the music? Oh, YouTube did the thing where it just kind of yeeted itself out of my music thing. Let's watch fucking ads together. Wait, you guys can probably can't even see the ads. Oh, it's like Eminem's throwing shit, and the dude is like, get in the bowl, and they're like, no, you get in the bowl. It's like, oh yes. Oh, this is a good song. Wait, I hope the song is can be picked up. This is a good song. Anyhow, let's turn this song a little bit down. Okay. Anyhow, yeah, the solution was just making the arm smaller and giving it like a bunch of articulation. I look at like fabrication arms in like factories and shit like that, and it's funky. You have this joint which like goes this way and can also rotate. Then you have another rotation. You have another rotation. You have another rotation. Yeah, this thing can literally go everywhere. It can stretch its own ass. You know what I mean? So it's pretty funky. And it looks like an arm. You know, like it's so I had to like it was brighter before, and I will get into like brightness contrast later on, but it's like very important that the design doesn't look too cluttered, a mecha design. So I made the arm like darker, smaller, and it's like one of those things where you look at the mecha and you don't see the arm, and then when you start looking at the details and everything, you're just like, hey, wait a minute, there's a dude. And that's what I want people to like realize. There's just a funky little gun dude just fucking hanging around. And I have to wait. Oh shit. How do I pause the recording? I have to go to the toilet. Oh no. Oh no. Let's Google it in real time because I'm that kind of person. So, how to pause a recording in OBS. I'm going to die if I'm not going to piss. Why is this a 2-minute video just where oh no, please, how do I pause? Please, come on, stop recording, start streaming. Yes, I know. Wait, do I have to literally stop the recording? What? Oh man. Oh, okay. I don't know how to just pause. So have this funny surprise face. That's you looking at me, just seeing in a video how he has to piss. I gotta be really quick. Wait a second. I'm not going to drink any juice anymore. I'm not going to the toilet anymore. It's a rule now. I'm doing the video. I'm very serious. As you can see, let's put my microphone closer to me again. Where was I? Oh yeah, gun arm. I was pretty much done with that, I think. But yeah, it's funny. Small design decisions. There's like a band holding it up onto the arm, and that's pretty much it. It took me quite a long time. Not gonna lie, getting like the balance of the gun right, but that's for later. Shape priority. Bullshit. You know, like I hope not that I really hope not that there's will be like someone who actually knows concept art, just magic, and then just calls me out that I don't know any of the right terms, but I'm just like, it sounds right. Okay, it's like shape priority. But yeah, let's go to the next thing. Very small tangent being the legs. So the legs, big block, kind of ugly. I really hated making legs. Like quite a while ago, I really hated making mecha legs. I just never knew what to do. You know, I still don't know what to do. And I really need to like learn how to make feet, like funky mecha feet with like proper articulation and kind of stuff. But what I wanted to do with the new design is just like having a leg shape that is more leg shaped, you know? And boy oh boy, this is probably the most complex shape on this entire design. But it's good. I like how more confident I am with like funky shapes like this, because this shape is literally like this shape, which if I ever make a design video on how to make mecha, this is like the pinnacle of like shapes. I don't know, this shape can be turned into so many things. Like you can use the shape like this, and then that's like the back of an hand, you know, like put some fingies on there, and then there's like the thumb, and then there's like the connection here, and it just makes it look good. I don't know, this shape is like the pinnacle of mecha design, and I wanted to make this shape, and because I'm a fucking idiot, I wanted to make the side of it like this, you know, like it's oof, oof, and then in 3D, oof, it's like oof, it gets really complex. It gets like this. It's like, wow, it's crazy shape. It's a crazy shape. I kind of had to cheat a little bit. How you looking the how are you seeing the legs right now? Like, I had to cheat just a tiny little. Wait, actually, nah, I think the shape works. Yeah, the shape works. I had to cheat just a little bit. Like, this usually has to extend down here, but I didn't know how that shape would work, and it kind of made my little pea brain fry. But yeah, this shape is like, man, I want to be in a draw pile with someone and just draw shapes and explain to them how shapes work. Man, shapes are so great. I don't know. It's fun to make something just look 3D. It's fun. I have fun. Anyhow, man, I don't know if anyone can tell, probably everyone, but I'm really tired. Imagine me with like 100% energy. I would be fucking rapping all my lines. You know, like, Jesus Christ, I'm so tired. Children and everything, you know. Oh man, the Rona, man, the Rona. Anyhow, before I start talking about my life, next design thing. We had the legs, we had the gun, we had the funny icing. Should we? No. Let's save the best for last. Let's talk about the shoulder. The shoulder is also one of those small things where, look at this shape. It's disgusting. Like, the top of it is kind of just like a rectangle, but kind of rounded and weird, and I don't like it. And then you have like this, which is so ugly. You just have like this round part on top of it, and then like this little razor thing, and it's like, what is this? You know, like, I can't get away with this kind of stuff anymore. Like, what is this design? And then this part here, which is like needlessly complex, you know, where it's just like, man, I was really confused. And in the new design, it just this, and it looks better. It's more slim. It's more aerodynamic. It's everything I ever wanted. Because the thing was about this piece was that it was kind of like an intake, kind of like a radiator kind of deal. And now it just looks more like a radiator kind of deal. Like my nephews told me those look like cables because they are so fat. And I wanted to have like fat radiator fins, but didn't know how to draw them. And if you don't know how to draw them, please just do something else, you know, like please just do the things you can, or of course you can like experiment and stuff like that, but when it looks this awful on like a pretty good design, like I personally try to like make everything make sense and also make sense with each other, you know, like it's probably quite a lot, but like when you start getting into that kind of thinking, then the design just starts resonating. And I really love that about mecha design. The thing with mecha design is just like with character design, you don't have to think about these kind of things that hard. Sure, at some point you're gonna like have a very busy design and you have to start thinking about like how everything has a story and that kind of stuff. But this is like that concept times 11, you know, like where it's just like every part has to have its purpose. It has its job, it has its family, and you're supposed to respect its heritage. Amen, you know what I mean? Like, every part is beautiful, and every part loves the next part to it, you know? Like, the entire mecha is this mecha organism, and I'm probably starting to become, like, really, like, philosophical and emotional about mecha design, but I really love it. It's beautiful. I don't know. When I make mechas, it feels a lot more like making a child. Am I talking about the sexing? No, not in that way. I mean, making a mecha feels a lot more like you making decisions. It being a living creature for me personally. I don't know, because I'm like designing every aspect, every like logic behind it. You know, where when you like draw a human, it's like it's a human. You kind of setting parameters. Kind of like setting sliders in an RPG, you know? Like, of course you have your funny OC and it's like cute and all and it has like personality, but for some reason like designing all like the intricate structures and mechanisms, how the body works, man, there's some funky stuff. I don't know where I'm going with this. I just really like making mecha, and mecha really doesn't like me. I'm like the I told my friend once that the relationship with me and Art is just like, it's a toxic relationship and I'm the toxic partner, because I'm like just beating up, like I'm like, I want to do mecha design and then really forcing it, you know, and it's just like, it's not good, but deep down I just love mecha. I love you mechas. Anyhow, so shoulder, yeah, I kind of mentioned how these two parts are kind of like the same thing, and it shouldn't be like that. And in the new design, it's just like this big part, and this is like the small shoulder. Because for some reason, every time I want to make a shoulder, I want to pick a pick. I want to pick big. I want to put a big pauldron on it, you know, like a big shoulder, like just beefy boy. But this boy looks already beefy. I don't need to put like another beef on it, you know, like don't put a sausage on a sausage, or it becomes a sausage ball. Man, my best friend is going to kill me. She's probably making a comment on YouTube right now, just making like, oh yeah, Mango and his pauldron, this is his fetish. But I'm sorry, it just looks cool. I don't know. But yeah, this arm connection and this arm connections, if you really squint at it, they look very similar, because they are. And I just like how much better this turned out, you know? Like, we don't call about the confusion that happened here, where it's like open and then you see like these wires and then this joint, and why is there like this weird radiator piston here? Who knows? I was a child. It was like 1 year ago. Maybe even more. I don't know when I made this mecha. Maybe this year, dude. Man, that would be pretty cool if it were this year. That I got this much better. And I wonder how long the recording is going on already. Jesus Christ. Anyhow, this will probably get into 3 hours and everything. Everyone is with me in here, right? Like, you guys are ready for like 5 hours of Mango just gushing. I can probably gush for an eternity because drawing is fun. But let's get into. Wait, actually, I have one more design aspect that I would probably like to say, which is like this thing, which is like the brain. And let's keep it short. This doesn't look like a brain. This is more rounded, so it looks like a brain. These look like dreadlocks. I have nothing against dreadlocks, but it's kind of weird. I don't like it on this one, so I just make like 2 big tubes. What do the tubes transfer? Probably some cryo fluid or something. Brain going hot, you know. But yeah, now let's get to the most spicy feature that I changed in the new design. And after that we can like start talking like big brain, which is like I am not big brain usually, but it's like when I stop in sync, like all the habits that I accumulated, it's kind of big brain. But like, bear with me, it's gonna be bad. I'm gonna struggle, but yeah. This part. Oh man, this part looks so much better in the new design. So, this part is kind of the face and the body of the mecha, so it's a very important part. And the first thing I did was like, see these small piston thingy-bobobs? I really like those. But no one is going to fucking see them. Like, that was like a last minute addition when I realized putting detail on. And there will be a lot of last minute decisions on this one as well. I hope they all are going to be good when I add detail. But like, I really like those pistons. Like the idea that the body has like these big pistons. And also like this part, which kind of was the joint to open the jaw. But now it's just this clusterfuck of just funky shapes. Like, I like the shapes, but they don't make any sense. So, combining those two, I have this piston system. Piston systems, that's nice to say. Which kind of is just like when this piston goes up and this piston goes down, the mouth kind of opens and the entire body pivots. And it makes a lot more sense than having like an actual joint, because imagine having to move this entire thing with just a fucking inky-dinky joint. Like, that's like one of those things where I'm just like, that doesn't make much sense. Like, having like pistons kind of move it. That's how big construction vehicles work, you know, like big hydraulics, you know, and that's how I want to make this mecha. He's not supposed to snap his mouth open. I mean, I suppose that would be still cool, like the pistons having extreme pressure and then it just snapping open, and I don't know, he biting something? I can't see this thing biting anything, but it would be kind of cool. But yeah, pistons, and putting like these pistons on, it looked like the cylinder block, you know, like kind of like a one cylinder engine. So I put this big thing in here, which also, how I will always refer to later, makes it easier to concentrate on this area because there's something shiny and you will not ignore just this beautiful thing I did. And also, I wanted this grading, which is like, it looks very prototypey and it looks really cool, but it kind of didn't make sense in the legs, which were supposed to be solid. So I put this here, and here it just looks like kind of like it has to be strong, but at the same time a lot of heat has to dissipate there and that kind of stuff, and it's just perfect. Another thing being like, which I already had the idea when I made this design, where the hip is just connected to the shin, and I don't know why I didn't do that, you know, like in retrospect the design suffered a lot from adding just another crotch, you know, where the mouth could have been the crotch. That's such a mango thing to say, man. but like, just extend the face. He has like this non-chin now, and it kind of looks goofy. And here it's just like, hell yeah, shared territory, you know. And yeah, I just attached the hip to the shin, and it looks so much better. But it's like one of those things that just come to you naturally. You design something, and then you are just like, this makes sense. I could have done this. And then you do it. Because I'm going to surprise, I'm going to revamp all the mechas I like the most, how I would make them now. And just bathe in my own ego, because I feel so much better now with my design language and everything. Guys, please give me this. This year was really sad. I really need this. I need to be really egotistical. Please. I really like my designs. Don't worry, usually I'm too humble and probably like killing myself with my humbleness, but I'm really happy about my designs lately. It's fun. It's fun again to be in mechas. For a while it kind of felt like I losing my touch and not being able to do mechas anymore, and it's like, man. But it was like going back to the like toxic relationship. It was kind of just like me and my partner making a pause, and I have to wait for them to come back. Like, I'm not allowed to touch them, you know. Like, if they don't want to see me anymore, then so be it, you know. Like, I hurt them too much, man. Poor Art Shan, you know. Like, my poor art wifey. But hey, she came back. I'm inspired again. My moves is back, you know. But yeah, this area just slaps. Also, a big thing, there was this turbine thing that is supposed to make an eye. So the mecha has kind of have a face. So it's kind of weird how there's a face and there's an eye here. I kind of like that weirdness. But with these big engine blocks attached, that kind of looks like the face. Those are now the eyes. Kind of like the eyebrow ridges, you know? And perfect. He looks so handsome now. I just want to caress his fucking snoot, you know? his fucking snoot eye. Man, he probably is a bro. If I had to give him like a personality, he'd be like this character which can't talk at all, but it's just like oddly wholesome, you know? Like he would be like this huge evil thing that would like pick up a teddy bear for a little girl, you know? Like, that's pretty much all mechas I designed, to be honest, though. I kind of like that aesthetic. Just big scary being big nice. God. This is like the first video I'm doing for like public, and I'm like putting like all the manga in it, you know, like all the swearing and the like childishness. Like, I hope people like that. Because I'm kind of like, a lot of people don't like it. I'm a lot as a character, but let's stop talking about me and talk about this boy more. These were all the design decisions that I wanted to talk about. I think maybe like the smallest thing. This is a spring, so the gun when it shoots, like comes back. I suppose that's not a big thing, you know. Another maybe fun thing is like this thing, which is like I'm kind of proud of, which is like this very easy thing to do, to be honest. Just like it goes this way and it goes this way, and then I just combined it, you know, like bloop, 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 and look how cool it looks. I don't know, it looks so cool. And then I put like armor plating on it, and then it's just like I'm gonna use it like so much in the next few designs, probably. Like this kind of chain linking, I probably gonna like link a bunch of like these parts to make a chain, and it will be glorious. But yeah, I suppose I can mention the shield, which is like the most boring thing ever on this thing, which is like just, hey, it's the shield. Whatever. Why did I put the shield in focus here and even made it like brighter so you look at it? I don't know. It was supposed to be a missile pod. I wanted to animate that. I didn't. And it also doesn't look like a missile pod. So whatever. Now I have the shield on this side and it looks a lot better. And also like, let's just segue into like the funky stuff. Uh, two things I'm going to talk about in this segment. Man, I really have to pace myself in like how I talk. People are never going to see that I'm segmenting things and I have like a list because all of my tangents and just my weird transitions where I'm just like, oh yeah, let's talk about this now. Anyhow, I hope it's not too disorienting, but it's kind of like how I am, kind of just disorienting, but it's kind of soothing. Maybe I should be an ASMR channel. No, but anyhow, um, talking like wait, okay, the recording is still going. I just had this flash where my brain just told me imagine talking for like an hour or like two or whatever it was, and then just realizing the recording is not going. Oh man, I would not kill myself, but I will be very disappointed in myself and be like, man, you could have done better, but somehow I expected this from you, Mango. You know what I mean? Like, kind of just disappointment. But yeah, let's go to the next area. I think that's a good transition. Where it's just like contrast of detail and contrast of brightness. Where it's just like in a mecha design, you have all these details. It's kind of overwhelming sometimes. So, how do you combat that? You make stuff darker if you want to like take out the attention from it. You make stuff brighter to make the eye concentrate on maybe plain areas or something like that, and just have contrast. Like this is dark, so it's further back, and you don't look at it right away. Like this ugly ass, stinky ass poop cannon. It's even brown. But yeah. So why is this entire area so dark? Because it's very busy, and that's why it's dark. Easy peasy. Then we have this very nice color separation. I really wanted to keep the color separation of this like blue and then white for the limbs, and the color separation just got a lot better here, where it's just like white, and instead of like having this small transition, we have this huge transition, and then this like the areas of colors kind of make your eyes relax, like you're not overwhelmed. Here you get overwhelmed really quickly, mostly because of this area. And it's like one of those things where it's small, but it adds up, and I like it. It's coming natural to me now. You probably have to turn on your brain when you do it for the first time, but at some point you're just like, I can't fucking see the gun. Let's make everything around it darker. You know what I mean? That's also, it's getting really dark here. I think there's a storm coming. I'm going to like turn on the lights. I'm still going to talk, so you guys don't feel like alone and kind of stuff. But my room isn't that big, so I'm going to be back in like a second, which is right about now. So I'm back. Let's put my headphones on. I want to hear the music. But yes, just having the eye rest. And I kind of like the idea of like the main theme is blue, but there's a surprising low percentage of blue on this mecha. But it's enough. It's like striking enough. It's kind of just like the nugget of color, the speck of color you wanted. Like it's not too overwhelming. Where here it's just too overwhelming. Why the fuck is everything blue? Like here it's just kind of like the armor parts are blue, and that's nice. Then contrast of detail. Of course, there's a lot more detail than here. Like I'm not someone who is scared of making something just silhouetted if I have to, because it's just like no one cares about the shield. I'm not going to put a bunch of detail into the shield. Also, it's going to clash with like the viewing experience of like, here's the snoot, and of course I don't want to like put shit here, where it's just like gonna muddle up the snoot that I worked for, and like the nice silhouette. Like it has a good silhouette, like this is another thing that I worked on. It has a good silhouette now. It's spicy. Like if I silhouette this, it looks good. But the silhouette with the snoot, now that's looks fucking amazing. And that's why I don't want things to obstruct it, that kind of shit. Same with like this, when I mentioned it before. this got darker and smaller because it was just too busy, you know, like it was a really cool arm. I can't show it because I don't have any whips of that, but it was a cool arm, okay? It looked cool, but it was too much, you know, it became its own entity, which I suppose it is now, but it's like, no, you're part of a whole, you're part of a family, you're supposed to submit. So I just made it like, it was also bigger at some point. It was like taking this much space at some point, and it was like, this is just becoming like just the targeting system, but it's still supposed to be the gun, and the gun is a gun, so the gun makes gun things. And man, I'm getting really tired. But yes, that's contrast of brightness and contrast of detail. Oh, jeez. I really wish I knew how to pause the recording to just take pause. I'm talking too much. But yes. Shape language! Jesus Christ! Oh, I looked at my list of things to talk about. I didn't mention shape language. Oh. Okay. Oh, let's try to keep it short. I actually wanted to like end the video on that note, just me being tired as fuck. But like, let's do shape language. You have big, medium. Let's give them some faces. I like faces. Big, medium, and small. What is big, medium, small? So a good shape language is balancing big, medium, small out. I like having, for example, big, and then you have like a small, and then you have a medium. Like, if you ever try it out, like making a gun or something, or like a car or something, and you make everything like the same size, kind of like here, how it's like same size, even the snoot is like the same dimensions like this. This just like medium, medium, medium. It's really ugly, and it kind of works because I made like kind of subsections, like this is technically a medium for this big, and that kind of stuff. But it's not breaking up the monotony enough. You know what I mean? Like this mecha just looks just so stiff. And big, medium, small just comes naturally. You know, like you feel it. Like if you start practicing that rule, you start like thinking about it, and like when you make something, you start being like, this is a big shape, this is a medium shape, this is a small shape, this is a very small shape of this medium shape in this relationship, you know, and then there's a big shape again, you know. And when you balance out all those shapes, it doesn't get busy, boring, or just kind of flat looking, you know, like this medium, 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 these three, sameish, you know, horrible. But here, you have a big, you have a medium, you have a small, beautiful, you have a big, this could be the big. I think that's two bigs, but they are like separated into more parts again. And it has a bunch of smalls to like see the detail in the joints, and it's a nice collection of clusters, nice happy clusters, you know. I had it better previously, where this and this were like very distinctly not the same volume, but here it kind of looks like the same volume, but it kind of works. But yeah, big, medium, small, you see it everywhere, and when you start seeing it, it just works. I remember having a lot more thoughts about big, medium, and small, and like shape language, but I'm really tired, guys, and I had a lot of fun like just rambling. I was about making this video. I'm literally just like recording and screaming into my microphone, but it's fun. I like talkie. I want to talk to more people. Oh man, I hate the road. Everyone is like busy and shit, and I'm like this creature of the night, never having anything to do, so just having too much free time. Man, you won't believe how sad I am when I'm not allowed to draw or not able to draw and that kind of bullshit. But anyhow, thank you guys for listening to me. I hope you guys have fun as much as I have. I really like talking. See you in the next video, I suppose. Whatever it may be. let's see how much traction I get on this one. If you like this video, give as much feedback as you want. I really want to hear what people think about me just rambling. I let's become one, people. I want to become an eldritch being. Just let me assimilate you. Okay, let's put it in another way. There's a lot of people out there that I'm actually jealous about. Being a mecha artist is actually very lonely, and I'm really horrible at everything else. So everyone's kind of cool, man. You all are really cool. Please, please, just talk to me. I'm like a small little bean. I'm like a child. Okay, I should stop talking, man. Anyhow, the video is over. Let's put like the music on full blast to have like the YouTube fade out. Can I do that like manually? That would be really cool. Wait. I can probably do that. Okay.